This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Retired cop reportedly dies from COVID-19 complications. Retired Deputy Superintendent of Police Lloyd Echo T. Thomas has died. Thomas was a special investigator of the Firearm Licensing Authority at the time of his passing. He reportedly lost his battle to complications caused by COVID-19 on Wednesday morning. Thomas, 69, was admitted to the Kingston Public Hospital last week after testing positive for the deadly virus. A number of employees at the FLA have reportedly tested positive for COVID-19, forcing the entity to close its door to the public on Thursday, February 26. Teenage mother and her child reported missing. An Ananda alert has been activated for 14-year-old Alison Lang and her 2-month-old daughter Akesia Kerr of Hopeview Avenue, Lindsay, St. Catherine, who have both been missing since Sunday, February 28. Alison is of dark complexion, medium build, and is about 5 feet 3 inches tall. Akesia is of brown complexion and slim built. Reports from the Lindsay police are that about 2 p.m. on February 28, Alison and Akesia was last seen at home. Their mode of dress at the time they went missing is unknown. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Alison Lang and Akesia Kerr is being asked to contact the Lindsay police at 876-985-2285, the police 119 emergency number, or the nearest police station. 16-year-old girl gone missing from government facility. An Ananda alert has been activated for 16-year-old Kiwana Summers of a government facility who has been missing since Monday, March 1. She is of dark complexion, slim built, and is about 157 centimeters tall. Reports from the Falmouth police are that about 12:30 p.m., Summers was last seen at Trinity Medical Center. Her mode of dress at the time she went missing is unknown. All efforts to locate her since then has been unsuccessful. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Kiwana Summers is asked to contact the Falmouth police at 876-954-3222, the police 119 emergency number, or the nearest police station. Guard killed in Santa Cruz identified, nothing taken by attackers. Detectives from the St. Elizabeth Police Division have commenced a major investigation into a daring attempt at a heist in Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth on Wednesday, March 3, which left one guardsman security guard dead and 2 others nursing gunshot wounds. The deceased has been identified as 50-year-old Anthony Endem. In a release, the police said the incident occurred about 8:15 a.m. outside a financial service institution on Main Street in the town when the 3 security officers attempted to make a cash drop-off. The police said they were ambushed by a group of men who opened gunfire at them. During the incident, all 3 security officers received gunshot wounds. The police, who were said to have been quick on the scene, transported the injured men to the hospital, where Endem died while being treated, and the other men are being treated. The release said initial reports indicate that about 7:45 a.m., 2 men, who are believed to be the suspected shooters, were seen sitting at a stall in the area. One of the suspects is believed to be of brown complexion and was sporting an afro hairstyle and was dressed in a red windbreaker, while the other man is believed to be of slim build and dark complexion. The police said despite the fatal attempted robbery, data indicates that there was a 12% reduction in robberies in the parish last year, which was said to have been achieved through crime reduction strategies. 2 more plead guilty in Tamara Geddes murder case. 2 more persons have pleaded guilty in relation to the murder of Trelawney mother Tamara Geddes. 33-year-old Tashana Young and 55-year-old Owen Irvin yesterday pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit murder when they appeared before the Trelawney Circuit Court. Irvin also pleaded guilty to murder. They are to be sentenced on March 19. Another accused, 24-year-old Brian Shelley, was remanded as the court was told that he did not have legal representation. He was ordered to return to court on March 19. Young is being represented by attorney Charles Sinclair and Irvin is being represented by Shelley and Hyman. On Tuesday, Tamara's sister Nadine Geddes was sentenced to 20 years in prison on the charge of murder. She also pleaded guilty to conspiracy to murder and was sentenced to 5 years imprisonment at hard labor. The sentences are to run concurrently and she is to serve 15 years before being eligible for parole. Nadine's two daughters, Shanice Ruddock and another who is a minor, had pleaded guilty to misprision of felony and were each given suspended sentences for 3 years. Misprision of felony is a crime that occurs when someone knows a felony has been committed but fails to inform the authorities. Tamara Geddes was shot and killed at her house in Reserve District, Trelawney on June 19, 2020. Mom complains of hospital's lack of urgency to treat newborn. The mother of a 3-week and 5-days-old baby who has been hospitalized for just under 2 weeks is lamenting the poor communication and lack of urgency in carrying out medical tests on her young child. Natasha Williams' son was born on February 5 at the Spanish Town Hospital in St. Catherine and released on the 9th. 10 days later, the 24-year-old mother said she took him back to the hospital because he had a fever and was not eating. He was admitted on the same day. They said that he looked very sick and they suspected that he might have an infection. On 3 separate occasions when she went to the hospital during visiting hours last week, she was not provided with an update on the status of her son's health. When I asked for the doctor, they told me the doctor had already left. 1 week after he was admitted, Williams said she was told that they needed to do an ultrasound on his head to determine if there was internal bleeding. They said the ultrasound would have been done on Friday, and when I went there, they said there was nobody there to do the ultrasound, Williams said. She was also advised that only emergency cases are dealt with on the weekend. They suspected that he was bleeding in his head. My son is a 3-week-old baby. Wouldn't his case be considered an emergency? She questioned. The mother said she inquired about conducting the diagnostic exam privately and was told that it had to be done at the hospital. The ultrasound was conducted the following Monday, and the results showed residue from bleeding and excess fluid in his brain. On Tuesday, her son was diagnosed with meningitis, which is an inflammation of the fluid and membranes surrounding the brain and spinal cord. A CT scan has since been scheduled for further diagnosis, said Williams, who has made both verbal and written complaints to the hospital's patient affairs unit. Williams said there were challenges prior to the birth of her son, as she had been attending the hospital's high-risk clinic, and a few days before her due date, the doctor informed her that she would need a C-section. I ended up going to the labor ward the Thursday night, which was the 4th, and while I was there, even though I brought in the paper from the doctor authorizing the C-section, they broke my water and had me there in pain before they brought me to do the surgical procedure, she recounted. When contacted yesterday, the hospital's CEO, Dwayne Francis, said he had no knowledge of the matter and requested information for the commencement of an investigation. He also recommended that Williams present herself to his office. First COVID-19 vaccine doses to be administered in Jamaica on March 10. The first doses of COVID-19 vaccines are to be administered in Jamaica on March 10, the Ministry of Health and Wellness has advised. The ministry has also advised that Jamaica is now set to receive its first shipment of the COVID-19 vaccine from India on Monday, March 8, a few days later than the March 4 arrival date that was earlier announced. The vaccination of Jamaicans is expected to begin 48 hours after the arrival of the first shipment of vaccines on Monday, guided by the principles of human well-being, equal respect, national equity, legitimacy, and reciprocity, the minister said in a statement on Wednesday. This is with the goal to reduce the death and disease burden associated with COVID-19, ensure non-discriminatory practices are incorporated in the allocation of the vaccines, develop appropriate immunization deployment strategy and distribution infrastructure, employ the best available science and expertise, and protect those who bear significant additional risk and burden of COVID-19, including frontline healthcare workers, the statement added. It noted that the shipment of 50,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine has been made possible by the generosity of the government of India, with whom Jamaica enjoys a long diplomatic relationship and from whom the updated arrival information was recently received. It noted further that this first batch is to be followed by the March 11 arrival of 14,400 doses of the vaccine procured under the COVAX facility, another 1.8 million doses procured under a deal deal with the African Medical Supply Platform is to follow. The first phase of the island's vaccination effort is to target key populations, notably government officials, healthcare workers, the elderly, the Jamaica Defense Force, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, as well as schools, the Department of Correctional Services, and the Passport, Immigration, and Citizenship Agency. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.